Hello guys and welcome back to Geopolitical Simulator 4. We are continuing as Sweden. A little more time has passed. I've just been getting rid of some aids. Taking a quick recap on Ukraine because this guy's given me a recap. He says there's a stalemate, conflict's likely to go on. I don't know if Russia already owned Cherniv, but they own it now, as well as Chernobyl. Interesting desire to own that. We have... This military base belongs to Russia. I don't know if these northern things belonged to them initially. And they appear to have encircled Bakhmut and Sloviansk as well as this trench. So they do appear to be making gains. This is what we could expect. I'm mostly just going to have fun watching this as I work on Sweden. I always liked in Rulers of Nations the war in Iraq, the way that was simulated. Even though you could actually end it really easily via the Secret Service. But I always liked the way they went about it. But yeah, I'll get back to what I was doing. You can see the massive changes in foreign affairs way in the green, showing we've reduced what we spend on that by quite a lot. I prefer playing countries that get donated to, because I hate having to sort through this. Because why are we giving all these countries money? I understand the reason in real life, I guess. But also, like, can we just not? Can we just not give everybody money as Sweden? We're in debt. Don't we have our own problems? We are getting very small public finance bonuses, so that's cool. Theoretically, enough time has passed as well that I can go back to trying to nationalize partially these sectors in agriculture that are not running. So I'm going to go down this list. Oh, and liquor, just like beer is nationalized. State employees not happy about something I did. Oh, probably maybe lowering the nationalization on beer. Well, we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to do the same thing here with liquor, so. And then I'm going to go down the rest of this list. We don't even have wine running, and it's set as... It's set to be fully nationalized. That's hilarious. I could potentially adjust workforce right now to get it up and running. I forget if that works. I think it does. But I'm not going to do it like that. I'm just trying to get things organized. Again, we're not min-maxing right now. So that's all of farming, all of industry taken care of, and all of energy. The only thing that remains in that task is going to be services, which there's basically nothing that's not running. Lottery and bets and railway transport are nationalized fully. I'm going to lower these. I do not want to run a nationalized economy. The right is all for this. Yeah, we have telecom and TV channels, partial involvement. Feels maybe kind of weird to do this with lottery and bets. Apparently this is going to raise our money. We'll see after it goes through. That's not necessarily true. Growth is still holding up all right. No big happiness, unhappiness chunks. Cool, and then that's all done. It just has to go through. I'm moving at like snail speed as I try to get these beginner tasks done. But we're getting a large sum of money to work with. Larger than we had, because we had a national deficit of like negative 0.25 or something. Now it's at negative 1.25%, which is much, much better. And my law on financial transactions has passed, so we have this, we barely, like, have this. Immigration, oh, this is just this is a normal thing. There's a big focus on things like immigration now in this game, but if we look at our taxes, this one went through first. The tax on financial transactions, not actually making any money right now. Interesting. Maybe we're lacking something that would allow that to make profit. Well, we'll leave it there. That's fine. You can see the nationalized sector profit. Conditional EU aid paid. This is, okay, yes. Conditional EU aid, 32.9. I was wondering about this. Paid, so 33.5. We've consumed most of the conditional EU aid, and there's like almost 7 billion remaining in it for activities that we might take. Our biggest thing, as we know still, is unemployment and growth. And there's a couple ways that I can work on that. We've already gotten their money, budget already funded by the EU. Maybe we want to make big changes then. I could find help employing young people. That'll cost some money. That'll probably get some happiness. And the EU is willing to cover 34.5% of it. So let's go ahead and get that. Interesting. So we have 67% job seeker allowance for 10 months. We have a severance pay of 2.72 years worth of employment. This is new. Average working week of 39 hours. At some point I might raise that to 40. Just to make my population like America levels of productive. Well, maybe prior America. The current generations don't work that. We don't have a minimum wage, which is hilarious. I would gladly leave it like that. Because, personally, I don't think that's necessary. Contemporary slavery. Number of victims per 1,000 inhabitants. Okay, there you go. Public sector, social, young people, and employment. Nationalizations are starting to go through, so we're going to see a bunch of, I guess, this. Sweden's minimum age for a driver license is 18, but their age of consent is 15. What on earth kind of country is this? And they have prostitution, but not organized. Does that mean I can't tax it? I think that means I can't tax it. Where does prostitution go in here? That's so weird to say out loud. I have no idea. Maybe it's just not even showing because we can't do anything with it. So this is not really necessary, but I'm going to try to flip the things for like minerals and whatnot that we actually lack and cannot start up, because if I ever do start warmongering and taking things over, which I'd be surprised, especially considering we are not a permanent UN member, so it could be maybe difficult, maybe not so difficult if, you know, America has my back, and maybe Britain or France, one of them, literally just one of them, but we'll see. I have everything on normal. Every option is on normal. But I'll take all of these and I'll flip their nationalization as well, just in case we do ever find a supply of this stuff. Public sector, super happy. Social. We got company turnover, pass. That's good. So that's going to be a little bit more money. Nice excess of money, which when you remember that we're in debt and only about 2 weeks has passed since the beginning of the game, that is pretty good. There's other taxes that I want to make, some that I might want to lower, you know, we'll see. Financial transactions tax is now making a teensy bit of money. That is cool. I guess that has other effects that I know I've discussed in prior times playing this. Growth has actually gone up a little bit. That's cool. Maternal feeling. Now, there's other things we do need to spend money on as well, some of which the EU will fund. Cybersecurity being one of them. They'd be willing to fund 20% of this. This is quite expensive. I'm afraid that if I raise it a little bit, that's all they will cover. Alright, so what is this? Salary. Lower your salary. Poverty threshold. What is the salary for the head of state? Holy cow. Woo! A monthly salary of 82 grand? Alright, North Macedonia, what do you want? What'd you come here for? You want to sell me foul. Well then, I mean, doing these is not always the best, right? Because you don't want to become dependent on it. But this volume is just so tiny anyway, that it's just like, I'll just ask for a really, really good deal. So that tiny amount for 800. Still willing to go? You're willing to go just at a different price. Let's try 850. They're lowering it to 1,000. Let's try 900. And they accepted it. That is a really good deal for a really small amount of foul. Is there anything we could do here with him while we have him here? Well, I just saw a thing where I could request him to impose sanctions on an aggressor country. I guess he already has it on Russia because the only other option was Ukraine. So I guess the game can't determine who's the aggressor very much. Otherwise, there's just talking about like your alliance, which I'm not in NATO. So we're not actually allies yet. That's right. Well, here's a coffee. Here's a champagne. Not that it really matters. And I'll leave you alone because I'm still joining NATO, which I kind of forgot about. There are some things here where we have bans on the Central African Republic, Eritrea. Those are pretty historical. Yeah, Iraq, really? Lebanon. There's a lot of sectors where we have North Korea, sanctions of some kind. Somalia, Sudan. Like, I semi-understand a lot of these, to be fair. At the same time, I'm tempted to lift some of them for the benefit of our economy. We don't have any sanctions on Russia. If we don't have sanctions on Russia, I guess we wouldn't because we're not even in NATO at this time, I guess. Then why do we need it on some other countries like, I don't know, Libya? Libya seems to like us, and Iraq hates our guts, but apparently Germany gave weapons to Ukraine. Peru just had a violent earthquake. That's not great. Oh, right. We have to worry about that. I totally forgot that we have to actually worry about that. Where does that go? Environmental budget? Yeah, right here. This is where all this stuff goes. I might just try to, like, max this stuff out real quick. I mean, that's a lot of money, though. I don't think we have to worry about some of this stuff, at least. Holy cow. What would we have to worry about? I assume it's the stuff that we have a high amount of. Pollution isn't really a problem. Forest fires, I feel like, could be a pretty big problem. That's still very expensive, but it would save money. It would save money. I'll go all in on forest fires, at least, which is not going to change my budget that much, but that would be good to save me money. Totally forgot about that. This is like a relearning playthrough for me. South Korea gave 38 missiles to Ukraine. I wish I could see what Germany gave them. Again, I really like looking at numbers like that. I don't know why, but I would love to see that stuff. Well, we got our assessment of that contract we signed. It's not super happy about the tiny volume, but it's a very low price, so it's happy. I mean, I could have told you that, but it gives me little bits of dopamine to see the green happy face. Oh, this is funny. I just got a happiness bonus because a law was rejected. I wonder what law it was. Probably had something to do with nationalization. Yeah, it was a nationalization. Some of them are not passing, which is causing a happiness increase, which I find to be so funny. It's not really going to make anyone happy, but I'm going to go ahead and max out my spending on military research. That will cost a pretty penny. The EU is willing to fund 10% of it, and that'll bring down our budget advantage a little bit. But I do want to get that kind of stuff off the ground if possible. And if we go look at the EU, they've paid out hundreds of millions, and a lot of it is to me. The good news is, even with the small period of time that has passed while I've been doing all this busy work, the inflation has started to go down, which is just going to make everybody happier in general and better off. Yeah, look at this. Libya likes us, but so do their rebels. Their rebels like us too. Ooh, we actually lost happiness due to militarism, and now we have a demonstration from the Pacifists Union. Oh, that's interesting. National troubles. Well, I'll be careful about doing that, because they are unhappy. They're not very large, so all we have to do is not do more militaristic stuff. The military's happy with me, though, naturally. We are very democratic, so we're going to have to fight through our own people to get the military going. And the military is something that I want to get going, so. Government policy. I wish this stuff was less generic and they told you what it was. I mean, I know what it is, but I still wish they were less generic with it and told you what it was. Surrogacy. Why? So this is a debate? They make a big deal about this in this game, but in real life, like, is this really a debate? I'd never seen anyone debate this in my life. Well, surrogacy is legal with financial compensation for the surrogate mother or no legal regulations. Financial compensation is an altruistic act without compensation. Well, if it's already legal, then that's good for birth rate, right? Speaking of, that's something we're gonna have to worry about, right? Is birth rate. So our fertility rate is 1.67, birth rate 10 point something percent, years per 1,000 inhabitants. It's below the world average by far. We do have a population growth, probably partially from immigration, which I know it makes a big deal about now. Population growth is very tiny, but it is growing. Birth rate, we have a contraception rate. Child mortality, life expectancy is 83. That could be a whole problem in itself eventually. Well, that's really interesting. The EU has its own border control budget and migrant country origin. Oh. Asylum budget. Okay. Well, we have more nationalizations that are and are not going through. The fight against illegal immigration might upset some individuals. If I boosted it, it would cost a lot of money. The EU's not going to fund this anyway, so I'm going to just raise it 2 stars to get an idea for how it goes, because we want to figure this out. So our immigration policy is very good anyway, so illegal immigration shouldn't be that good. Integration policy, considerate and moderate. Yeah, it's very open. There are, oh god, 104,000 illegal immigrants in the country, though. Just below the world average. Nothing compared to America, but our population is only 10 million. That's a gigantic amount. That's like 1% of our population is illegal immigrants. Holy cow. And look at this. We have really good conditions for illegal immigrants to, like, integrate themselves. They just have to serve, like, 4 years in the army, for example, which is not that large, but... And the regularization as well. Yeah, like, it's very easy for someone to not be illegal here. So I would hope that this wouldn't be that much of a problem. Construction of separation walls on land borders. Oh, cool. You can build specific borders. I remember Rulers of Nation, the border with Mexico was like a huge thing. And now you can just build walls wherever you want. But Norway, Finland, we do not need these. And they actually have specific mileage. You could build the Mexican wall in Rulers of Nations and Masters of the World and earlier things of GPS 4. You could just build it on, like, forever. Well, that's fine. We don't need this because of where we are. This would be good to keep an eye on and try to control. So I'll come to and from that. While also, just our success should bring in immigration. And as we see, it's very easy to get into this country and to stay in this country. We have really good healthcare. We have really good healthcare. Okay, this demonstration is losing us some happiness. Security, public sector. Integration, anti-racism. Controlled immigration, public finances, demonstration. Yeah, because I'm spending money now. And we have a lot of these passing. I got to get these things up and running eventually. This is still just the pacifist union, so that has nothing to do with what I just did here. So I'm going to bring this up another 2 stars. Let's do 1 star, actually. Which is expensive enough as it is. Managing borders. The Shenzhen area. Yeah, that allows border crossings very easily. We should propose a large increase in border management budget of the EU, which will achieve proportionally better results than increasing our national budget in that area. Yes, but then the whole EU has to approve of it. This demonstrator amount is not changing, which is good. Very good. As inflation comes down, we'll be able to, like, lower the key interest rate. One good thing about not being in the euro, and I don't think I'll join the euro as Sweden. If I play under European nations, then I'll let them have what they have, but I don't think I will join it myself. All right, so I'm going to try to get some of these things off the ground here. This is probably going to get me banned from the EU or something. There's like a preset amount of money, I think, that you need to spend on all of these to get them up. Some of them are cheaper than others. I'm going to, like, double the amounts as I remember them. Helicopters will subsidize for 4 million. What else is military? We have tanks. We'll subsidize that for 10 million. There's other surface ships is one of them. I don't think this one's actually military. Maybe it is, actually. I guess it probably is. We'll do 10 million on that one as well. And then we have missile launchers. So missile launch. And we'll do, I think that one somewhere around here. Let's do like 6. I don't care about the money efficiency. I just want to get these all off the ground. If we're going to get banned from the WTO, let's get banned now while our popularity is rising, right? So missile launch is subsidized. We need some fighter planes, if that's not already up. It's already up. Oh, sweet. Cool. Well, yeah, I guess that makes sense. I feel like Sweden's, like, underpowered in the fighters they could produce. They only produce, like, tier 2 fighters. If everyone else is producing tier 3, I guess that makes sense. But I think they're producing, like, tier 4 or something. Doesn't Sweden have pretty good fighters? I thought they did. But maybe they don't. I'm not sure. Some of these are new, so I don't know what their amounts are. I'm going to leave those alone for right now. I'm doing several at once right now anyway. What am I missing? Do we make submarines? Do submarines even go here? S. Do you see submarines? I don't see submarines. Submarines are still in the game, right? Well, I found nuclear submarines. I don't know how much this one will take. I'll do like 22. I don't know if I've ever gotten this one off the ground. Same thing with satellites. I'm not sure how much this one would cost to get off the ground. I'll just do like 10 on that one. And, you know, we'll come back to it. The other surface ships I think we already got. I haven't seen like normal subs. I'm not looking exceptionally close though. Oh, conventional submarines. That's right. It's called conventional. This one hasn't gone through yet. More time might have to pass for that one. I mean, it's going to go through no matter what. So I'll probably just... I was thinking of this when I did this, probably. Some of these I might fail to get up. If I fail really badly to get them up with subsidies for whatever reason, because this game is weird, then I'll just like maybe try to fully nationalize those ones and pump manpower into them. And we could do it like that. The aircraft carriers, I remember being more expensive. So, oh geez, like I remember these ones being more expensive, and especially if I'm trying to like double them because the values change. I'll take the subsidies off, or at least lower them at, like the moment these things get going. Oh crap, so we got a bunch of stuff that just went by. Environment's really unhappy because the law on non-conventional gas and oil has been passed. That's really good. So testing and exploration authorized, exploitation banned. We can't build it yet, but it can be exploited. National League for Industry hails the new legislation. Yes. I don't know how it could lead to any new jobs when you can't exploit it yet, but we're getting there. In a different month, we'll push it even further. A slippery slope. Not for the economy, it's not a slippery slope. We have a lot of nationalization. I love how it just doesn't tell you which nationalization has gone through. It just decides that you don't need to know that information. It doesn't even... No, it still shows them, I guess. It still shows them. Why is uranium... Oh yeah, there's coal here. Try to put that there. Nationalization. Founding values. Okay, she supports me. Cool. What about uranium? Why is uranium like the one thing here that's not partially nationalized? This would have a cost associated with it to acquire this, but it's a very small industry, so I'm going to go ahead and get it. This could limit its growth, but we're not really relying on uranium too much at the moment. At some point, I'll look at making trade deals and stuff like that, but I don't want to rely too much on trade deals, honestly. The passive trades are preferable because you need to maintain trade deals to retain their benefits. So I actually prefer smaller trade deals just opportunistically, and then just buffing us up internally as much as is humanly possible. Oh, I think I understand what the harmony score is now. Basically, the closer we all have to having the same exact laws, the same exact taxes, then nobody will go between different countries to do stuff. So I can propose 2% on this. Is this like leading to the max? Like of what I have? In some cases, it seems like it. Really interesting. Unanimous country vote. Yeah. I wonder if this is to like make everything go together or like predetermine what the harmonization is. But it defines it. Fiscal harmonization between countries. EU protects against tax evasion and delocalizations in favor of a particular country, which provide more advantageous taxation for business. Better harmonized organization generates more wealth. If the law is adopted, oh gosh, be applied in all countries of the Union and can no longer be changed at national level. So a vote here permanently harmonizes these specific taxes in every country. I see. Because of the war in Syria, a large number of civilians are fleeing, heading towards neighboring countries and relief camps. We could offer to take them, bring them in. Calculate an average cost of $15,000 per refugee. Lives of human beings are priceless, wouldn't you say? Is this something I can actually interact with? What? Oh yeah, look at this. 15,000 per. Look at all these refugees. I can go to the different refugee camps that are set up, for example, over here in Turkey, where there's hundreds of thousands of refugees in each one, and I can accept them and bring them into my country. That could be destabilizing as all heck. I did look at our population out of curiosity, by the way, and our big foreign communities here, primarily Finnish and Serbian. The Serbian I did not expect. The Finnish I did. But look at this. This is very small, which should mean that most of our nation is pretty homogenous, which is good for stability and predictability. We're mostly Protestant, otherwise atheist. Okay, so that's very American. There are no sects at all. That's cool. I don't know. We got complete religious freedom, no regulation of anything. Association, foreign. Yeah, the two main foreign communities have their own association, Finnish and Serbian. The Serbian is so weird to me. Oh, we actually lost some popularity. Now there's a employer federal union, anti-liberal policy, because I'm nationalizing stuff, so it's starting to cause some problems. Russia created a new space program. Never been done until now. I'm not going to go too big into my own space programs. Realistically, I'm not going to bother. Yeah, even researching this much, it's kind of pointless because we're in the European Space Agency. Hell, I could just take funding out of this to save some money. It's not a lot, but it's something. They won't like that I'm doing that, but I'll still probably do it anyway. Also, America discovered the self-fragrant fiber. I want to get like the normal researches up because that's not really going to be shared per se. Well, military is up. Aeronautic is something that needs to go up, you know? How expensive is this? That's not as expensive as I would have thought to go from 1 to max. I thought Sweden was good with planes. Are they not good with planes? I thought they were. Let's pump money into aeronautic. 10% of that is covered by the EU. I want to get all this stuff maxed out eventually. Hopefully the population likes that. Solomon Islands had a hurricane. That's not good. Can we still see those on the map? Is that a thing? Yeah, we can. I remember in the earlier editions when you moused over them, they would actually disappear. It looks like they fixed that bug. This is why I'm happy to play this one. I think it's going to be like the least buggy one, even though it will still probably break. A lot of soldiers and civilians killed on the front of Ukraine. Holy cow, dude, look at this. 103,000 soldiers. Now, soldiers can die really easily in this game, keep in mind. Of Russians dead in the war. 41,000 Ukrainians dead. In real life, it's probably a lot more even, I would imagine. But in this game, military is really weird. I saw they got rid of the ability to automate military, by the way. So I'm assuming it's just active by default all the time to make the game more accessible. Because the actual thing that says, let the generals handle things, is gone. That's been there forever, so that's crazy. Alright, well, I've managed to keep myself busy with way too much lawmaking for 1 month and a bunch of other stuff. So I'm gonna call this episode here. Hope you guys are enjoying. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. For now, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.